Peace. $1.50. 2G what it is. 2G's being 2,000. What it is being the rest. Yo, it just sounds live. Peace. $1.50. I'm pacing out. I'm strategizing how I'm vlogging. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just vlogging any kind of way. When you see me and don't see me, it's not based on, making the crowd want me and stuff like that. It's based on strategizing what I'm up against in the vicinity that I'm in, the locality I'm in. Is they don't like vloggers and stuff like that going on, where I have to strategize my exit. I plan on getting out of this situation. You know what I'm saying? This situation, I'm not comfortable with vlogging and not vlogging and saying what I'm saying, but I'm saying what I'm saying. On my last purchase, on my most recent purchase, I'm purchasing the 1DX Mark II Canon camera. You know what I'm saying? When I'm purchasing the 1DX Mark 7 Mark II Canon camera, it's an advanced technology. It's the flagship of Canon. You know what I'm saying? It dates back in time to a lot of the established corporations and companies and YouTube channels that use the same technology or similar technology to advance to where they are now. The technology, check out how it hopped off. I bought the drone. And then I took the drone back because there was something wrong with it. I took the drone back and I said, well, in place of the drone, I'll buy a gimbal, because I had the Nikon at the time. I buy a gimbal for the Nikon. And when I had the Nikon, while I was waiting for the refund from the drone, the Nikon was capable of Wi-Fi transferring digital images or videos in a way that I could just take the picture or make the video and upload it to my computer, and everything would be 100%. Well, once I did that enough times with a deck of cards, it was like I made videos with the deck of cards. I made content with the chemistry that I generated, and the time that it was taking to get the refund from the drone was so unbearable that I said, listen, I'm going to toss the Nikon, because I'm not going to let nobody figure out my card system, my Wi-Fi card system. I didn't let nobody figure it out. So I tossed the Nikon. Right after I tossed the Nikon, the baby got dropped on the bus. In process of purchasing the 1DX Mark II Canon camera. I had already purchased it. I already purchased the Canon camera, but I didn't complete the payments on it. The payment, I still got another payment to make. I just set it up a certain way. I don't have another payment to make, but I set it up where the next time I go there, I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna make a payment and pick it up. So it's gonna be a couple of weeks. It's not it's not immediately. Because, money don't grow on trees. I don't have no donations or nothing coming in for real. I'm always saying, donate, but it's not like the donations are really coming in. You know what I mean? I don't base what I'm doing now on donations. I base what I'm doing now on, people that listen to what I'm saying sounding the same way as the information I generate. I'm not charging you to listen to me. You know what I'm saying? So when you go to church and the pastor say pass the communion basket around, they're not charging you to listen to them. But when they need money to function, I'm on the same frequency, but I'm not charging you. But the money helps. The money helps. It's not like everything is free. You need everything to be paid for at the end of the day. So listen, I got the refund for the drone, and it took so much time that I tossed the Nikon because it was the cards, the Wi-Fi, everything was transferring, and I didn't want nobody to figure out what I was doing that much. That much. I went through it before because the locality I'm in, they try and manipulate what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just put it out there like it is. They try and manipulate what I'm doing. So when they try and manipulate what I'm doing with the M50, with fire trucks, police cars, and ambulances, I got rid of the M50 before they showed up saying, "What you doing?" And then I got another M50. Then before they showed up saying, "What you doing?" I did the same thing. Then I got another M50. Then they showed up, then they never showed up, was saying, "What you doing?" And I got rid of that M50. So all those M50s that I had are based on being evasive, not being easily accessible to the mainstream authorities and figures in this authoritative figures of authority that tamper with what you're doing. They tamper what you're doing in a way that that bogs down with your channel, bogs down your business. I got a bit my website. I sell music at my website. No music sells on my website. No donations come in. Everything is sabotaged. Right now, everything is sabotaged. I'm in this locality where they sabotage everything you're doing, and that's what's real. That's why I am. You listen to me. You don't listen to nobody that don't make no sense. I'm telling you exactly what I'm up against. So when I'm telling you what I'm up against, it's like you have to take it for real or not take it for real. When I say donate, I'm trying to get out of the situation. Clearly, that might be the easy route, but it's not the only route. You know what I'm saying? I'm making sure when I toss the Nikon, when I toss the drone, I'm making sure the technology that I'm exposed to is in no less of a place. The 1DX Mark II Canon camera. That's the most flagship camera they ever made, based on, representing Canon Corporation. And I plan on representing Canon Corporation, same way I represent the Nikon. But Nikon, when it got monotonous or repetitive based on cards and what I was doing, as opposed to Nikon showing up saying, we see your work, you know what I'm saying? New York Stock Exchange, Kentucky Fried Chicken, we see your work. You aligning those major corporations with the New York Stock Exchange, and we see your work. They didn't do that. They left it unsaid. So the moment they left it unsaid, and I had the option to buy the 1DX Mark II Canon camera, that's exactly what I did. I tossed the Nikon, not saying nothing less than Nikon would be saying, but saying something like, I got the flagship joint. You know what I'm saying? I got the flagship joint to represent Canon camera. They know my work. I did the M50, that's Canon. I did the M50 3 times. That's Canon. That's Canon Corporation. They know my work. And they know I'm not playing no games with people following, trying to sabotage with my interests. And I got music videos, I got music albums, I got chess chemistry albums. The White Pawn, the Black Queen, the Black King. I got chess albums for each chess piece. So when I got chess albums for each chess piece out, and I depend on the chemistry that I generate, I base it on, the technology also. So now I got the 1DX Mark II Canon camera on its way, and that's going to be fire, being the flagship joint. You know what I'm saying? I could use the Canon Corporation help, based on getting out of this situation. But most importantly, I'm on a path of success based on being around the flagship camera of Canon Corporation. Now it's not brand new. The flagship camera of Canon Corporation is not brand new. It's a camera that's based on. I'm gonna show you the camera the same way I showed you the Nikon. But when I show you the Canon camera, I might go into unboxing and all that. I might do it like that. I'm not really doing unboxing because it's not in the box. It's the actual camera. It's got a carrying case. I got 5 batteries in total, and the battery's like 100 and something a piece. The charger is like 100 and something. The lens is like 1,000, and I got it all for one price. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm making progress like that, as opposed to waiting on the refund from the drone, going through the deck of cards over and over and over again, doing the Wi-Fi thing with the cards and, over and over and over again, and something might break or anything. I just said, listen, I'm going to toss this camera and get another joint. And I didn't see the Canon camera, the 1DX Mark II Canon camera. I didn't see that camera. But when I saw it, I said, listen, let me look at that right there. You know what I mean? I wasn't worried about the price. I was worried about being able to get the camera that I need and the camera that I got, protecting my interests that I had in the Nikon, protecting my interests that I got in Canon Corporation with the M50. That's why I tossed the Nikon. The Nikon was based on, I was planning on keeping the Nikon because I was going to buy the gimbal. I was going to get a refund from the drone and get a gimbal and use the Nikon with the gimbal. That's what I was going to do. But once it started sounding like I was up against the same people in this locality, I said, listen, I'm not letting them figure out what I'm doing. I'm going to capitalize off what I'm doing, even with this refund that's taking forever to process. When the refund taken, I'm gonna tell you how they did me. They said, listen, when you drop the drone off, we're gonna give you a refund. Then when I dropped the drone off, they said, well, you gotta wait a few hours before the refund get processed. So I waited a few hours. Then I waited a few hours. Then they said, well, it's going to take longer than that. We have to wait until we receive the item to get a refund. Then after they said you have to wait until we receive the item, then when they received it a few days later, they said now you have to wait until we process the receipt. We scan it. And that took another few days. So they did me like that. And while they did that, I didn't know who was in charge or nothing, because this locality is behind a lot of the resistance that I'm experiencing. This locality is behind it. So what I did was I tossed the Nikon because I didn't want the Nikon to be exposed to the elements of the delayed refund. I didn't want it to be exposed to the elements of the M50 is a good technology, but it's a good technology if you get the pictures of the fire truck, you get the pictures of the ambulance, you get the picture, because the response times and the safety protocol attached to that information is what it is. It's certified by OSHA. OSHA is regulating fire trucks, police cars, and ambulances. It's all OSHA related. So when you're not chasing ambulances, just taking pictures, and when you are taking pictures and nothing's coming back, then you say, well, it's nothing less than what I'm doing. Toss the M50. Nothing less than what I'm doing. Buy another M50, not the same M50 that I had, even though it's still close because you still got the same technology, but not the same technology where they walk up and say, hey, what are you doing taking pictures of us like that? They never got that close. Because I never just took a picture, while they were standing there either. I showed up strategically. If you ever go through it, where the locality that you're in are challenging who you are as a business person. If you ever go through it, don't let them see what you're doing. Don't let them near you. Every opportunity, don't let them figure you out. And when you don't let them figure it out, and you have a chance to get out of there, get out of there. Don't sit there unnecessarily for nothing, going through no sexual changes. Don't go through nothing. Don't get in no relationship with people in the same locality. I'm going through situations like that where I'm not going around the people a certain way. I'm not intermingling with people that I used to be in an old neighborhood with. I'm not doing none of that. I'm making sure I stick to my plan on getting out of this situation that I'm in. This situation is an odd one, but it's based on this locality. This is where slavery began. Slavery began in this jurisdiction. This is Virginia. Slavery began in Virginia. When they brought the slaves from Africa, they brought them here. This is where so the mindset of the people are in the same place. When I'm telling you this, I'm not playing around. The mindset of the people are in the same place. When you're trying to progress or capitalize off your situation one way, they showing up sabotaging your views and manipulating your sales and stuff like that. Believe it, it's real. You know what I'm saying? It's real. Listen to my content. Listen how I'm explained to. I'm well speaked. I'm well said. I'm saying exactly what I'm saying, but I'm saying it in a way where you can understand what I'm saying, but you can't see how I'm accomplishing what I'm doing. When I accomplished the Canon 1DX Mark II purchase, it's based on getting that far. It's not based on nothing being given to me. It's based on me getting that far, tossing the M50 3 times, tossing the Nikon. The Nikon just purchased red. I could have stayed there, but based on what was going on with the drone, based on, covering the territory that I covered and the time that I covered it, I said, listen, this Nikon and that gimbal is a perfect match. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this Nikon. Any camera goes with a gimbal. I can put any camera on a gimbal. And getting away from Nikon before they have this type of resistance near them makes more sense than sitting there Nikon bringing the negative and that much negative resistance around you. It makes plenty more sense. Not leaving Nikon behind and just doing things recklessly, making sure there's no connections, making sure that what I'm doing with the cards and what I'm doing with the Wi-Fi isn't figured out. That's what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm doing that, I'm making sure my next purchase. I'm purchasing today. I'm going to receive in the mail a remote control for the Canon 1DX Mark II. I'm purchasing a remote control so I can, when I'm talking now, I got this remote. This remote is for the iPhone 11. I have this remote for the iPhone 11. I purchased this from the same people. When I purchased this remote, it was based on, I got two remotes for the iPhone 11, but the iPhone 11 remote that comes with the purchase that I made for the other remote, for the stand, it's a tripod with the remote, but it's a little tiny remote. It's not a remote like this with buttons and keychain and it's a different type of remote. It's just a little tiny remote with a button on it, and you just have to know how to pair it with the iPhone. You know, that's real, but you know, you gotta, you know, that's good for a backup. That's good for a backup, and you know, I use this one primarily. It has an off and on switch. It has, you know, it's set up like a remote control. It's not set up like a little tiny piece of technology. So listen, once I get this camera, I'm gonna show it to you, and I'm gonna show you how heavy duty it is. It's heavy duty. It's like, it's heavy duty. It's like, it's built for, you know, a lot of pictures, a lot of videos. It's made like that. The Nikon wasn't made like that, but it held up. You know, when something's not made like that, you know, you just don't want to be sitting there, and then, you know, when you try and take a picture one time, and then it don't work no more. You know, but when something's made the same way, the flagship Canon 1DX Mark II is made for, you know, everything in the rain. It's weatherproof. The camera that I bought is weatherproof. You know what I'm saying? It could be raining outside and you still be taking pictures. That's the type of camera it is. You know what I'm saying? And when I purchased that, nobody else purchased that, you know, in the same situation. The situation that I'm in demands that type of extreme, that type of compatibility. Because I might be in the rain, I might be in the, you know, I'm walking around and stuff like that. I don't have my Lamborghini, I don't have my Porsche. They just listening, they just watching what I'm doing. They just watching what I'm saying, waiting, you know, waiting until I make the big purchase. But when it's time for me to make the big purchase, I might not do the same thing I'm saying I'm going to do, because I'm not trying to have nobody follow what I'm doing and see what I'm doing and be near what I'm doing. So I need Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari. I need their assistance right now. You know, why wait until everything that I'm doing manifests, and then, you know, the authorities that say they're authority, you know, are near me that way with these traffic stops and, you know, wrongful searches. When they get near you that way, you know, where they watch you go from one point to the next, you know, without being detected, then it's like you detected now. Now all they have to do is get near you. It's kind of crazy to explain, but know that if you're in your own vehicle and they pull you over and say, listen, you need to go to a mental hospital. If they ever do that to you, know that you're in that type of situation instantly. You're in that type of situation. You're not demanding your rights per se, because your rights are secondary. The situation is primary. You need to go to a mental hospital. We believe there's something wrong with you. You hear me now? You hear me speaking right now? It's nothing wrong with me. It's you know, I don't need to be in a mental hospital. I've been through mental institutions and everything behind the same thing. What happened was they pulled me over in a traffic stop and told me something like that, I need to go to a mental hospital. I went to the mental hospital and they said there's nothing wrong with you. Then it snowballed and avalanched into a barrage of traffic stops saying the same thing or something similar. Redirected me enough times where that was just the norm. In this locality where slavery began, that was the norm. So when you're in a situation like that, you don't sit there, you know, pulling out a gun on the police and all that. You be like, all right, I'm going to the hospital, but you know, I'm going to get out of this situation one day. You won't sabotage my business or nothing. I'm going to get a lawyer one day and represent who I am. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be real that way. Once you get, you know, enough resources aligned, they don't do that to people that they can't do it to. They do that to people that they can do it to, people that don't vote and not in the mainstream a certain way. When I wasn't voting, when I wasn't established in the mainstream. They just grab me and say, you need to go to a mental hospital, and you got to figure it out. If you ever go through it, know that Virginia is Virginia. They do things like that, and that's the way they do. It's no in betweens. When you don't hear nobody speak of it, they don't have M50s that they toss. They don't have Nikons that they toss. That's why they don't talk about it, because they don't have no way out of it. The M50, 3 M50s, 1 Nikon, a drone, a few drones actually. A few drones. I was on the Capitol grounds, and one time they said, listen, you can't have that drone on this property. I tossed the drone immediately afterwards. They get near you a certain way, you have to get out of there. You ever seen The Matrix? The Matrix is like the agents are coming for you. The agents are coming for you, and you have to figure out how to get out of the agent's grasp. You have to fight the agents. You have to escape being caught by the agents. When Morpheus got caught by the agents and they was interrogating him and hooking him up with ways of tapping into his mind, and the helicopter showed up and shot out the window, and he had to jump out of the window where they had shot the window up. He had to break loose of the handcuffs. He had to jump out the window. It's crazy the same way. It's crazy the same way, because in this system, people are fighting for the system to look like that. It's not everybody's arguing the point. People are fighting the old neighborhood that I was in. They fighting for things to be normally that way, where you have a business and they tampering with your views. They tampering with your website. They tampering with everything you're doing that's going to lead you to success. D'Angelo is from Virginia. When he had on no clothes and making videos, D'Angelo went through something similar. I can't say what his situation was like, but what I can say was, as soon as he had an opportunity to leave this locality, he got out of here. The one only artist that made it out of here, D'Angelo. I never seen no other artist come out of Virginia based on being up against these extremes in Richmond, Virginia. Being up against these extremes. I never seen nobody else come out of Richmond, Virginia and make it out of these extremes, ever. It never happened before. D'Angelo. He knows what it sounds like. I'm not putting him on the spot, but he knows what it sounds like. He knows this is Richmond, Virginia. He knows what I'm up against. He got out of here. Never came back. That's what it's like. That's what it looks like. The only artist that ever got out of here and never came back. Click on the link. Donate, you know what I'm saying? So I can expedite my exit. Peace. Dolla50. And what it is, following 2 G's. Peace.